faster time to market. For us, this means a few things at the same time. So first of all, it means bringing entirely new services to market, so launching new OTT services. And then it also means, once those services are launched, making that content available. And we see two very common use cases where content needs to be available very quickly. One is for time-sensitive material to have a very quick turnaround from the production conclusion to bringing it available on all the devices that users want. And of course, when adding new libraries, so when content rights are secured, making sure that you are maximizing the monetization of those assets as quickly as possible, and that you don't have inventory essentially going stale on the shelf. So Kati, maybe you can help us understand why we thought that faster time to market was an important thing on our list.
Yeah, for sure, Kieran. All of you heard already the terms gold rush, streaming wars, but whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, old as well as new services are rushing to markets worldwide and are battling for eyeballs and subscribers. For all the new OTT services, every lost week means a number of subscribers is lost to the competition, and the market leaders are pushing forward. So in its recent earnings calls, Netflix, for example, announced that it added 8.76 million subscribers worldwide between October and December. And that was actually during the November time when Disney Plus and Apple TV joined the streaming market. So the competition is becoming fierce, and not even the experts are certain how it is going to play out and what the winning formula is to stay in the top 5. So one of the most publicized strategies here is content is king. We just saw a new article where it was announced that even more than 500 scripted series in the United States alone were released in 2019. That's an absolute new high and a 52% increase since 2013. And the streaming services clearly help driving this growth. And while there are tons of articles about the billions of dollars that are being spent on content creation, it's the heavy lifting of making this content available that gives a huge competitive advantage. The speed to market that Kieran already talked about. And he already talked about the use cases where fast turnaround times of content are crucial. So one is the change of content rights. The money that Disney Plus, for example, spent on the Star Wars franchise needs to come back in form of market share as quickly as possible. Another scenario is legacy broadcast content made available to be streamed on demand. So broadcasters like the BBC are looking for faster workflows to bring popular shows like Strictly Come Dance in minutes, not hours, to their iPlayer. So when it comes to speed, we also cannot forget to talk about live events, mainly sports and online streaming. Every second, if not millisecond, counts. And as you can see, OTT is lagging behind. That leads traditional networks to believe they have a competitive advantage over streaming services. So I let Chris get into the technical details here, but it's clear that Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and others will notably change in how our favorite sports are going to look and feel.
Thanks, Kati. So let's summarize that quickly. Old and new services are rushing to market and battling for eyeballs and subscribers. We got our gold rush and streaming battles there. Viewers expect immediate turnaround time for new content. So therefore, what are the requirements then for broadcasters for 2020 and beyond? The ability to quickly launch new OTT services that support a wide variety of platforms in very tight timelines, and that make sure that those OTT services have efficient end-to-end workflows for both on-demand and live, with the ability to quickly publish entirely new libraries with the push of the button. So Chris, how can we do that? And how can broadcasters get ready to serve these needs?
Yeah, Kieran, that's not an easy one, because as said before already, we have so many devices, and new devices are coming out on a continuous basis. But I think it gets even more competitive. It's really not if you support the device, it's when you support the device. Your competitors in the market, they are probably already on these devices, or they are faster on these devices than you are. And I think 2020 will be the scene where we see companies iterating very quickly and getting on these devices in a very fast way. The media market is very dynamic. New formats, codecs, devices appear quickly and on an even faster basis. And what we think, I mean, I'm citing here a very famous venture capitalist and the founder of Netscape, so Mark Andreessen, said, software is eating the world in all sectors. And in the future, every company will become a software company. And this is also our hypothesis, basically, because software is just flexible. And we think how the market adapt and how we as economy adapt, basically, we need this flexibility. So cloud and software-based workflows will get more traction from our perspective. I guess you guys heard that before over the years, but honestly, I really think now the time is there, basically. We see it with our customer base. We see now much more people taking up the cloud and really utilizing all the benefits that the cloud has. Beforehand, we saw a lot of people tapping somehow into the cloud, but not getting all the benefits out, because you don't get all the benefits out if you not have a certain footprint in the cloud, if you not move a certain amount of workflows into the cloud and utilize a lot of features that are there. I think companies now have experimented with the cloud quite for some time and now found a way to work with it in really good ways. And we think 2020 will be the year where we see more of that. Agility is key for the video market to support new formats and devices quickly. We heard it before. So also here, to reduce your time to market, what you need is to be very agile in the processes that we have. When devices come out in a 6-month basis, and you need to be on these devices much quicker than your competitors are to capture market share, you need to be very agile how you are set up. You need to work with the right partners. You need to probably make the right decisions when you consider buy or build. You probably need the right infrastructure underneath. You need to set up that infrastructure in the right way to be very flexible. So we think this will be a common theme that we see across our companies in 2020. So in 2020, we will see companies getting really good at that, and new devices will come out, and these companies, the good ones, will adapt very quickly. Turnaround time, as already heard from Kati, is important. I mean, the PVC was one use case that got mentioned, for example. This was like for a particular show in the UK, which was Strictly Come Dancing, which aired at 8 p.m. and it took then the PVC basically, or together with this whole workflow, several hours, so 4 to 5 hours or even more, to get this show onto the OTT channel. But the problem was then it was like 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. So nobody was watching this anymore, and actually others got this asset already online somewhere else. So others were capturing basically the viewership, we're capturing the advertising revenue, we're capturing the subscription revenue. And it's also not a great user experience. If you just missed a couple of or a half an hour of the show and you watch it from the beginning and you have to wait until 1 a.m., it's probably not the experience that we want to see. So we think for news shows and critical events, they need to be online as soon as possible to monetize the content in the most efficient way. We think companies are really getting better there in 2020, but especially beyond, we will see here much more. Fast encoding in whatever way you will do it offers near instant turnaround time and highest quality. We think we will see much more of those, especially for the critical ones. So basically sports, news, and critical news events in general. To get to that, we think, as beforehand already mentioned, we think cloud-based workflows are crucial, because that's the only way how you can really scale horizontally. That's the only way how you can support the flexibility or the elasticity that you need basically to support these workflows. And on the other hand, also, we always see this bursting and these peaks when it comes to broadcasters or to general news media services. So we think hybrid cloud scenarios, hybrid cloud workflows that allow to burst jobs when you're on premise to a fixed on a fixed infrastructure to exceed capacity into the cloud. I think this will be a common theme that we think. All of these things adding complexity, like we heard before. So unfortunately, I have to tell you, we think it will not get easier. It will look better for the consumers. So the consumers will get a better experience, but underneath, it will be harder to manage if you don't partner with the right people in the space, I think so. If you don't set up your software stacks or your stacks in a way that you are flexible enough to adapt to these things. So 2020 will be the year, hopefully, of nowhere waiting, and companies will get better in bringing content online in an efficient and very fast way. Yeah, I think also something that everybody who works in the media industry has heard in the media in 2019 several times. So latency, and especially low latency dominated the OTT media in 2019. We don't saw many real life applications that worked particularly well. And I think that's okay. We are just at the beginning. We are in its infancy when it comes to low latency. I think 2020 will be the year where we see the first applications really hitting the market. We think the new formats like the MPEG Dash and HLS low latency formats will be used much more. I don't think that everything will work well in 2020. We will experience new problems, especially at scale with these formats, but we will learn from these problems. We will incorporate these problems. We will get better. The learnings will help us basically in 2021 and beyond to harden these workflows. I think we will get very close to where we are currently with satellite broadcast, but I think there's even more possible for OTT delivery because we don't have to send the signal to the satellite and back down because we can capture it where it is. We can actually distribute it faster than it is on the broadcast channel today. So currently we're in the phase where we try to match what is on broadcast, but I think in the years to come, we will actually exceed user expectations on that end. So in 2020, we will see increased usage of MPEG Dash, I think, and especially HLS low latency, and especially at large scale events. Not everything will go well, but the learnings will help us. And as an industry, we have to do this to provide a better experience in 2021 and beyond.